Good afternoon and welcome to what's going to be part of an interview with Shane Carless, the AMCA double champion. This afternoon, Shane's going to his time from when he joined the AMCA up to present day. So let's get Shane on board.
How are you, Mike?
Hello, Shane.
How are you?
Yeah,
back.
Good, thanks. So here we are then. Yeah, we're back for part two. Okay, so let's go back again then to the time when you finished your pro racing days. And how did you come then to join the AMCA ranks?
Yeah, so basically we found out like my missus was pregnant, obviously, so like things started to slow down quite fast for me. Obviously, I had to buy my first house. So I decided just to take a step back with racing because, traveling everywhere, the effort that's, you got to put in is just, it's unreal these days. Yeah, so I think I had like 6-7 months out, and my missus, I can remember like clearly to this day, my missus saying to me, look, do yourself a favor. You need to go and get yourself a bike and get back into it. So yeah, obviously the love I got for the sport is unreal. I can't go without the bike. Yeah, so started scratching around. I thought, right, let's give this amateur, this AMCA a go. And so I remember walking into Marshall Max's, obviously the local shop to mine, its biggest shop in the UK. Obviously I've known them for many years. I walked into the shop, and they were like, they welcomed me in and said, like, what can I help you? And I said, look, I want to go racing. I want to do the amateur side of things. And would you be able to help me out? And we sat down, we done a deal, and thankfully they offered me just as good as deal as I was in the British as to do amateur side of things. So yeah, we decided to do it, and to be honest with you, we haven't looked back since.
Okay, what was your first impressions then when you sort of rolled up for your first AMCA event? Because I think you had to do the qualifier. You had to qualify then for the championship by going to an event. It may have been Bromsborough or something like that.
Yeah, obviously I couldn't just enter. I had to do like a qualifying. So like, that was pretty nervous for me because I know I can win races, but it's just like anything can happen on the day, and like it wouldn't go down well if we had like, I don't know, didn't finish a race and we couldn't qualify. But I can't remember exactly where we finished on the day, but we managed to qualify. So we, the effort and testing and everything went in us like, let's come on to this amateur scene and let's do it right. But unfortunately, I had a big accident in Apex, and it set me back for nearly a year, to be honest with you. So I come back towards the end, just to do the odd one or two races. I think I impressed people, but deep down I wasn't able to fight for the front. So the following year then we just knuckled down and come back stronger.
Yeah, so 2017 really was your first proper real season in the AMCA. The quality of riders that you were coming up against, was it sort of what you expected, or were you surprised at the level of quality, or how did you sort of view it?
Yeah, like I come in, I've raced the top runners for many of years, but obviously they were in the AMCA a long time before me. So it's like you adapt to the tracks and the way it's run, and the qualifying, how that works and stuff. So it did take me, like 2017, it did take me a long time to get into it. But when we got into it, and like we thought we'd go in with like a really strong bike, and it wasn't the case of having the fastest bike there. It was just getting it, the suspension and the gearing and just like the final little tweaking adjustments to ride them tight tracks. But when we got a bike set up, I was happy with my results.
Okay, were you sort of happy with the level of tracks that were being thrown at you? I mean, obviously, I've been rode sort of pretty much anywhere in this country and in Europe as well. Was it what you sort of expected?
Yeah, like you hear a lot of people like, just putting bad things on like AMCA, saying the tracks are rubbish and they ain't wide enough. There's no jumps in them. So I come in, I thought like I was expecting like grass tracks or like tracks which weren't prepped, but I come into them and I thought I'd done like maybe a season. I thought these tracks are decent. They put a lot of effort in. So yeah, and as the years have gone on, from like when I first come to AMCA to like now, the tracks have changed massively. They put a lot of effort in it. Like the last one going off last year, just the effort the club and AMCA put in to make that even run. So the amount of rain we had, they turned it around and it worked out amazing. So they do put in a lot of effort, and the tracks are really good.
Okay, so from 2017, you then switched sort of camps in effect. You joined Fuss and Mike Keenan. How did that all sort of develop then? Can you remember?
Yeah, so like I was in Marsh for 2 years on the Honda, and like obviously I was like a top runner in the AMCA. So like I was getting offered rides from pretty much every team in the paddock. But like, as I say, Marsh AMCA is down the road from me. We're really good friends, and what they offered me, I don't think anyone else in the paddock could quite offer what they give me, to be honest with you. So I said to Mike, he's nagging me and stuff, and I was like I wanted to be with Mike, to be honest with you. Like the setup and the effort he puts in is it's the best in the paddock by far. So I said, Mike, look, if you want me to ride for you, we're gonna have to sit down with like Marsh AMCA and have a little chat and see what we can do. So that's what we done, and we ended up like Marsh AMCA and Mike ended up joining, and yeah, it's worked out the best for me.
Yeah, that seems like a perfect relationship, really. The Fuss and Marsh AMCA.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So 2018, you also rode in the IMBA European Championship. What was your view on that?
Yeah, we was excited to go to the IMBA. As I say, it was another big challenge for us. I've never done anything like this, and Mike was like, "Look, I'm 100% behind you. Let's go. Let's see what comes of it." And I sat down with my missus, and it's like, let's just go for it, because you'll be sorry if you don't ever do it. Yeah, so we went for it. It was decent, to be honest with you. In my opinion, it felt like he was going a long way to race the British riders, because the other countries didn't have as much talent as we did, but they'd always stick in an ex-Grand Prix rider or someone who can pull a win off. But yeah, it was a good experience.
Okay. Everybody who's sort of gone to these IMBA events always seem to have sort of some tales to tell along the way. Away from the meeting, have you got anything that sort of sticks out?
Nah, well, not really. As I say, Mike always wants to be the best, look the best, and we was in his camper. I think he had like a new Mercedes Sprinter converted into a camper, which was like unreal. And we was traveling from country to country, and he was like, he was setting up in the fields, and he was like, "Nah, this ain't doing it for us." And all of a sudden we'd pack up, and we'd just go to like a fancy hotel, and he'd be, like that's the way he rolls. If he wants nice food, we go for nice food, and he always put us up in hotels. Some weekends we couldn't, but yeah, Mike's got his ways, and yeah, it was quite funny. We had a lot of good times, a lot of good memories. I think it was like Belgium. I took a friend of me. I thought he had like a couple of days off work, and Mike was like, "You're sleeping on the floor. You're sleeping on the floor." And he was like, "Nah, I'm not sleeping on the floor." I said, "He won't let you sleep on the floor." So like it come nighttime, and Mike put him on the floor, and and across the front, the passenger side and the driver's side, and he said I woke up and my nose was like 2 inches from like the brake lever, from the brake pedal. So we had good times. That's what it's about. We went for enjoyment. Unfortunately, we missed out by a couple of points in the championship, but it was no big deal. Our main thing was back home for the British. But it's good experience. I think if the IMBA stepped it up a notch with better tracks, better riders, I think I would give it another go.
Yeah. One thing that I've sort of found out through the grapevine during that IMBA year, I don't know what country you were going to or coming back from, but you had a blowout on the van, and the comment I got back regarding that was that you changed the tire so fast that you should be a member of an F1 team.
Yeah. So I don't even know where he was, maybe France or somewhere like that. And he's like, what's that noise? What's that noise? And I looked in the mirror and the tire was like flinging in bits and it was smoking. I said, mate, we got to stop. So like we eventually stopped and he's like, we ain't going to get our wheel out from underneath the van. I was like, get the tools out, Mike. So like we ended the van and Mike's watching the traffic because they don't care out there. They just like flat out past you. And it was actually the wheel had blown out. I think it was the nearest side to the actual dual carriageway, so it was tricky. But we done it, and Mike was just like, "I can't believe you just done that." And we just like driving around France looking for a tire. I think he gave like 250 quid or like 400 euros or whatever it was, something stupid for a tire just to get us to the next country.
You can't remember how fast you changed that then, or
I don't know. I was just like, quicker we do this, the better. It was funny. It was.
Okay, going away from that then back to the home series, what can you sort of remember about the 2018 series?
So I think 2018. I think what they finished that year, like second maybe in the championship.
Yeah, you were second behind Josh Waterman.
Yeah. Josh was on fire that year. I don't know what it was. He was a strong rider and mentally strong. We can all win races in the AMCA. It's just whoever puts that extra 10% in. So I can't remember a great deal about it. I know obviously I didn't win, so that's a bummer. But the effort goes in every year. Same from like all my sponsors to we testing suspension wise to like the effort went in. It just we didn't manage winning. So, but then we changed. We had a big change for 2019. So that's when it clicked for us.
Okay, if you have a season like that, then 2018, where you come close but you don't get it, does that make you as a rider think about the following season? I'm going to find that little bit, that few percent extra to get myself that title, or do you just like take it as it comes in effect?
No, I thought right. I've been in this AMCA now since like 2016, and we come in to like win. Obviously, the amount of help and sponsors the team get is like we need to be winning. Seconds, thirds ain't good enough. In like my eyes, a podium is obviously where the main goal is, but to come up with a championship is like that's my goal. So like I don't know. I just looked back and I thought, right, I've had enough of finish seconds, thirds. Now whatever we got to do to like win the championship next year. Let's start now and let's get in it early and hopefully win. So that's where we done. So it made me more determined. Like Marshall Mex give me like they behind me like 100%. Also same as Mike. So we sat down. We right. Where was our weaknesses? What we got to do? And we just done a lot of testing. We ended up changing to a 350 for the 2019 season. So like I think personally that was the biggest step for me. I don't know. I didn't quite gel to that 450. It was like one track. Well, we could get it like unreal, and the weekend after and it feels like it was a different bike. It was quite hard to set up for me. So like we jumped on a smaller bike, a 350, and we set it up at the beginning of the year in the winter, and like I don't think we touched it all year. It was just whatever track we went to, it was just the same feeling, and so that was a big part of my 2019 championship.
Okay, so in that year, then you won the championship. Is there any sort of round where you sort of look back at it and think, yeah, that was the round where I sort of took an advantage, and sort of that was the one that sort of bumped me up towards the title, or do you think it was like an overall a season sort of achievement?
It's like certain rounds. Like I knew what I had to get done each round. I know it's like early on, but we do look and think, right, we need to come away with this. At the worst, we can come away with that. So I think remember going to like Oakstone Park. Maybe I think it was like the third round from the end, and obviously I trained hard in the sand, and I was like, right, this is where I need to pull the gap now, because I think it was like between me and Bradshaw, I think the points were changing like week in, week out within 3 to 6 points. So I thought, right, Oakstone Park, I've got to do him. And like, I think one race I like crashed maybe. So like we come away with like I think Burton, he made his comeback. Obviously he was out injured or something. So I managed to get him in between me and Bradshaw. So like I gained a lot of points in Oakstone Park. I think we went to Cullum then, and I was like, right, I need to keep the points, if not extend them to go into the last round, so we know we're safe. And we went into Cullum. Cullum ain't my favorite tracks, to be honest with you. I've never gelled with the track. It seems to be just really flat out to me. So like I come away with, I think I come away with like matching points, or maybe gain like 3 over him or something like that. So that they were the two main ones for me. I knew if I pulled enough points in the championship going into the last round, I knew I'd be much more relaxed, and it was not like if I had to go to the last round and win races, I could settle for seconds and thirds and still win the championship. And I remember like Bradshaw coming on to me after Cullum, and he was like, dude, he said, I know how much you want this championship. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, like, over the back, he said, you come across this one section. He said, I looked over to see you. He said, your one arm was off your handlebars. He said, and your leg was completely off the foot peg. And he said, you were still flat out. I said, I know. I said, I went there for one thing, and that's what I had to do. Yes, that was pretty funny.
So that must have felt pretty good as well. I noticed a comment that you won it as well on your son's second birthday, the title.
Yeah.
So that must have made it even more special for you.
Yeah, obviously it was a special day. It was an hard day, to be honest. It was like, just for me, I knew like I could win the races there, but I didn't have to. So my main concern was like just get a clear start, just get the first 2 or 3 laps clear, and just hunt down like Bradshaw and just stay behind him. And that's what I done pretty much every moto. I don't know how many points it come down to in the end, but that's all I had to do.
Yeah.
So and then I managed to win the championship on my boy's second birthday, which is sweet.
Yeah. Okay, so after that, 2019, obviously your intentions were to defend that again in 2020, but as we all know, 2020 went pretty pear-shaped for everybody. As a rider, that must have been difficult to get your head around, because you didn't know really at any point whether the season was going to go or it wasn't going to go. So how did you, were you still like training, right? Although there was no sign in the first half of the year that the season was going to even start?
It was a tricky one. Obviously the training went in, and then it's rumors saying it's not going to happen. So like we still put the effort in. Looking back, I didn't put 100% in, but I prefer to like go out to my enduro bike and my trials bike to make it the training side of things more enjoyable. So like coming in, I think it was like a week before, I just thought, I'll get a couple of races under my belt, and see where I'm at. And I'd done a club race, and I ended up I didn't actually crash. I landed awkward on a jump and dislocated my shoulder a week before the championship. So as many people know, I dislocated my shoulder so many times, but this time it felt like something was wrong. So like the team we're just ringing, are we going to race? Are we going to race? I'm like, I genuinely can't see it. So like we went through like physio rehab and just strengthening it, icing it like 3-4 times a day, just trying to get it going. And I could run like Marshall X on like the Wednesday or Thursday, and I said, look, is there any chance I can go in like the 125 class? Just to like see if we can do something. If I go to the start line, I can't ride, then we'll call it, we'll call the year off. But they managed to get me a bike at the last minute, and we turned up the first round. I think we finished second or third, and I knew if I could get through the first round, I could at least fight for a championship if my shoulder and the rear went well. So that was the decision we made. And looking back, I'm very thankful of the team for giving me the opportunity to ride a 125. I haven't been on a bike for like a 125, a two-stroke for like 15 years, so it was a bit nervous. We didn't even like practice it. I just started it up and went to the racing on the Saturday, and yeah, we put some serious effort in, and when we got the bike to where we wanted it, we managed to win in races and we come away winning the championship.
That must have felt really strange, though. Going from the big MX1 down to that. After not riding one for so many years, did you sort of feel comfortable straight away, or not really?
No, not really. Like, I knew, like, if I missed the first round, by the second round, I would be like beating myself up over it, because I know, like, a shoulder injury, I can turn it around pretty quick. As to just riding, maybe not 100%, but I can. So I said, look, just give me a chance, and like, let's try and win something. I know for 100% they was nowhere near strong enough to hold on to the 350, never mind trying to win a championship. We're in it to win it. So like, I said, look, let's just jump on 125 and see what happens. And to be honest, it was the most fun I've had for a long time on it. It was frustrating sometimes, because obviously the power and you're so used to the big bike getting over some jumps or like bumps and stuff like that. Just the 125 just had no go in it. But the racing side of things, you could be you could be coming around to lap someone, and you could be racing with them for like a whole lap trying to get around them. It's just everyone seems to be like round about the same pace, and yes, it was awesome.
Yeah, they look great fun to like throw into the corners and come out the corners. I don't know.
Yeah, like Roland Shaw at Hardgo, we had like I said to him, like, the bike ain't fast enough and it's gonna like make me have a little accident or something. So we worked. I think he helped me out, like setting the bike up, giving me a couple of like parts to bolt on to make it go faster. And when he set the bike up, it was unreal. And we didn't eventually set it up until like the last round, and like it was a different bike, to be honest with you. But yeah, it was a 125. Like most of the boys I was up against were on like 150s, so I was told. I don't know, but I really enjoyed the 125. I don't think I would do it again, but it's nice to say that I won a championship and I had another chance of jumping on one.
Okay, in 2019 and 2020, your two title-winning years, Steve Archer was done a fantastic job for you on the spanners. You must have been pleased for him as well, for the effort that he put in, to get those titles for him as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, what we achieved since he's been on board is like, it wouldn't have been done without him, his family. They're 100% behind me every weekend. Doesn't matter if I'm up or down. Doesn't matter what mood I'm in. He always seems to like swing things around for me, and he wants it just as much as me. And that was like one of the major parts coming into 2019. And I was like, obviously Marshall MX do my prep, my bikes through the week. So like, I race and then I drop them off Monday morning. They clean them and go through everything, whatever needs done. And I just needed someone on the day who like wanted it just as much as me. And like, I remember like 2018, I was walking around. I think it was like Brookthorpe, something like that. And I've always seen Steve like around, and just the way he was like pitting his rider, and I'm not sure who he was mechanic for in 2018. Just the way he worked with everything, and just by watching him, you could tell he wanted his rider to like, win basically. So coming to 19, I remember contacting his son Luke, and I said, look, is your dad like up for like help me out in 2019? And he was like, nah, he's done, he's getting married. And I was like, what? I need that guy. I need him on board. So like, I had his number, gave him a ring, and he was like, I'm getting married and I don't know if I can commit to it and this. And so in a way, I talked him around to helping me out. And, I think he was grateful for the phone call as well, because it's nice for him to help a decent rider out. And he said, like, I would want to go to a rider who's like putting in 100% week in, week out. And then, he ended up coming on board to the team, and like, he can't do enough for you. Even his two boys, they just like one's one end of the track, the other's the other side of the track, and they'll come in and like I see like boys, where am I losing time? What's one? Like they always got an answer to like make me go faster or improve. Even like down to his wife, do you know what I mean? She's like, she's there cooking the boys' food, and she's on the side of the track going nuts. Yeah, so the family, no, I can't thank Steve enough for what he's done for me. He's on board with us again next year, so we got a complete different challenge again next year. So it would be nice to what we've got lined up to give to Steve and the team, and yeah, just to say thank you to him. It wouldn't be done without him.
While we're talking about like working on the bikes, I know you said in part one that you're a sort of rider who doesn't really worry much during the week about what's going on. You just roll up on a Saturday and then go racing on a Sunday. But I noticed last year, a couple of times that you were like busy working on the bike with Steve. You're not one of these riders who just sits down and watches everything going on around him. You were physically involved. So you must enjoy that part of it as well, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah, I do actually. Obviously, I got my own business, so like work is my main thing. Like bikes is obviously just a little hobby for me now. It just end up being good at it. Yeah, so like work is my main thing. I come into Marshy on a Saturday, I'll pick my bikes up and we'll go racing. Yeah, so like it's nice to feel that way. I know I don't think about bikes all week. I just, on a Saturday and Sunday, like that's when it comes, and it's nice to be from it. I come into it and say, right, we're here for a job. We know we got to do. Let's just get it done and let's get home. But like, yeah, for regards to like helping Steve on the day, yeah, I'd rather be like helping someone or being involved in something and just sitting there. I feel like if you sit there, you can overthink stuff and like your mind just ends up wandering, and I likes to be involved, keep myself busy, and just like, right, we're going to the line, chuck me in Madonna, let's just go and do it. Yeah, but he's always, he checks our bike over, like I don't know if he says, right, Steve, you happy with the bike? Yeah. Is he like, yeah, I've checked it over, it's ready, done. And like you'll see him sitting down for 2 seconds and he's back up and he's like double checking it. And he's like, no, he said it's got to be right. So yeah, if he needs a hand, I'm there. Obviously his boys are there, but yeah, it's nice to go over and have a chat to him just to give him, a bit more confidence. I think, Steve, what you're doing is enough. Like, thank you very much. And like, he always likes to take the bike to the line, and yeah, the guy just he can never do enough for me. So yeah, he's the man for the job.
Yeah, it's fantastic to have people like that involved in the sport who just basically do it for their love of what they're doing, and I think that's what it's all about, really.
Yeah, definite.
Okay, so obviously we're now into 2021. You're going to be part of the first Marsh MX family for the 4th year running. Can you tell us? Obviously, I know you're going into MX2, but can you tell us what the plans are for the season ahead? Yeah,
so obviously my main goal coming into it was like just MX1. I want to win the MX1, and like, to be honest, when I said if I win the MX1 championship, I'm done. I'm like, I'm writing bikes off, and I was like, my missus was like, yeah, that won't be it. So we ended up winning the MX1, which is the class to win, to be honest with you. Then obviously 2020 we ended up going the 125, so we ended up winning that. Yeah, so like 2021 now, like Marsh MX said, like, you've won the MX1, you've won the 125s. Let's go and try and win the MX2. And I was like, I'm not sure. Like, I want to be in MX1. That's the big class to me, and like, I'd still be there. But when he said to me, he's like, look, I don't think anyone have ever done the 3 in a row. I don't know if you know, Mike, and I'm not too sure.
No, I don't think so, no.
Yeah, so like, as soon as he mentioned a challenge to me, I was like, right, if no one has ever won the 3, I'm going for the 3. So we're in the MX2 class. We're unsure what bike, CC bike we're on. Obviously, we're on a Husqvarna. My heart is on a 254 stroke, same as Mikey's behind me. But the Marshall MX boys want me to jump on a 252 stroke just because I rode the 250, the 125 last year. So I haven't said no. Obviously Bradshaw's on the team. He's on a 252 stroke, so he's gonna take some stopping. Doesn't matter what bike he's on. So like when the time's right, when obviously this COVID stuff blows over, we can actually get out and test. We're gonna take a 254 stroke and we're gonna take a 252 stroke. We just dial them in a little bit, do a couple of lap times, and we'll just see where we at with it, see what I feel comfortable, see what I'm faster on, and we'll make a decision then.
Okay, so when was the last time you were on a 250F then? How long ago was that?
Oh my God, we're talking probably like 2009. So like, is a long time. I do prefer. I'm a revvy rider. I do like. If to me, it doesn't feel like I'm going fast enough if the bike ain't revving. So I think a 250 will, like, I think I will really go well on one. Even like back in professional days, like on a 250, I had some serious results on a 250, but I always got offered the right deal on an MX1 bike. So I've always been a MX1 for since then. So it would be nice to jump back on a 250 and see what I'm capable of doing.
Okay, throughout for as long as I can remember, you've been riding on the number 68. Has that got any relevance to anything, or is it just a number you like?
I don't know really. It was like, obviously I've been a couple of numbers over the years. I just like the way it looks on the bike. Like my parents' house, my mum's house was number 58. I rode that for a couple of years, and then when I went to the ACU, I don't think I could be number 58. So they said, look, you can be number 68. So for the most part of like my good days of side of things, I've always been number 68. So I think it's like, I don't know, I want to keep it. Everyone knows me as Shane Carless 68. Like last year I was going to run the number 1 plate, but I thought, that's not me. Like I'm not a showy type of boy. I think it'd probably give me a bit more pressure as well. So yeah, we'll just stay with number 68.
Okay, so just to finish off with then, just a couple of general questions on the current sort of scene. You've seen the venues, obviously, in the dates for 2021. What's your thoughts on the AMCA Championship venues lined up for this year?
To be honest, I don't know where they are. So all I know is the first round starting in was it like May the 6th, something like that, is it? Or I don't know. Mid-May, yeah. I want to like look at the tracks in advance and like stress out. So like I just take it as, obviously when we come closer, obviously I will look aside of things. But no doubt they've picked some decent tracks. They've got a lot of good tracks out there. Yeah, but as you say, it doesn't matter what tracks they pick. It's just you got to go there for one thing. So it doesn't matter if it's the best track out there or the worst track out there. The results have still got to be there. Yeah, so I will have to have a little look, see where we're racing.
Okay, one final question then. Obviously, with what's going on at the moment, like last year and still into this year, how do you sort of see the future of the sport as it stands at the moment? Because I sort of think that it's on a little bit of a knife edge because of like the interruption from COVID. You don't know whether it's going to make people more keen to get out there racing, or are people going to drop away because they haven't rode very much. How do you see it?
It's a tricky one, obviously, because like people train the gyms or whatever, like all the gyms are closed, the tracks are closed, so it is obviously we're going through some strange times. I haven't actually started training yet for the season. I'll start in the first of next month. That's if I can. I go with a personal trainer, Richard Thomas, a local guy, local friend. So I go with him. He knows what my goals are. He knows what my weaknesses are. So like I go to him and he basically tells me what to do. I just listen to him. I know one of the guys who just can turn up to a gym and like do this or do that and just go home. I got to be like told what to do in a gym. So like he was a big part of like where my championship started coming from. He's the training that he puts me through is unreal, to be honest with you. So I know is another one I can't thank enough. So I don't know when things are going to change. I know some people are out riding, but no, is it worth it? To be honest with you, are we going to start on the date, or are we not? But it is what it is. We got to take week by week. I should imagine the top runners are training. You know, so you have a week or two off riding, that sets you back. So the earlier you get into things now, the better your results are going to be.
Okay, Shane. Thanks for doing part 2. I think we just about covered everything that we want to cover. It's much appreciated, and good luck for 2021.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, thanks, Shane.
Thank you. Cheers, mate. See you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, well, that's the end of the Shane Carless interview, part 2. Many thanks for joining us, and look out for more interviews to come. Thanks a lot.